Okay, I think I'm on. I think I'm on. Am I on? I think I'm on. Hi, everybody. It's Karen, the non-editing person. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about a topic that is near and dear to most nomads, and is a topic of conversation I see often, and that is about healthcare on the road. Now, I'm going to speak from my experience. I can't speak for everybody. There's some things I know and some things I don't know, but I will speak because I do have a couple of episodes that happened to me that I was able to get care on the road with no issue. Now, mind you, I'm retired. I am 67 years old. I have only Medicare, but I have the full coverage. I am with United Healthcare. And I do have their Advantage plan. And my Advantage plan has a feature that was a passport feature when I started it a couple years ago. Or I started at 65 and 67, so yeah, a couple years ago. So anyway, my first experience, I'm home based, still in Arizona. I'm going to be moving that by the end of the year, probably to Florida. But anyway, my Medicare plan is based out of Florida. And I was in Montana 2 years ago, in 2023, when I contracted COVID. And I got pretty sick, actually. And I have valley fever, which is a lung disorder. I got it in the dust in Arizona. Thank you, Arizona. And so my lungs aren't the best, and I can very quickly turn into, or at least it has in the past, turned into pneumonia. It seems to be better the last few years. So my fingers are crossed that, I've gone through a healing phase and, I'm not having to worry about that much anymore. But so anyway, I called United Healthcare, being in Montana, and my plan being based basically out of Arizona. I'm in a park, by the way, so if you start hearing all this noise, the racquetball playing, motorcycle gunning, it's a very pretty place. So I called United Healthcare and I said, "Look, I'm in Montana on vacation. I'm very sick. I didn't know what was wrong with me at the time. I said, I need to go to emergency. What are my options?" That's when they told me I had the passport feature. I didn't know. I didn't know I had that feature. I used a lady to help me pick the plan, and thank goodness I did. So they told me there's only 2 hospitals I was in Missoula, Montana. There's only 2 hospitals there. And it was the month of I believe it was October. And I was going to be in Montana until January, and I was going to get out of there for the snow hit. So they told me I could go to local hospital. Went to local hospital emergency. Had to go twice because I started getting better and then I had a relapse. So, and all told, it cost me $180 with my copays and the medicine copay. That was it. United Healthcare paid everything. I had no issue at all. None. Well, a couple weeks ago, I had a tooth that was going bad, and I knew it, and I procrastinated until the pain got ridiculous. And I was kind of hoping, I don't know what I was hoping, but nobody likes going to the dentist. I mean, a doctor's one thing. Nobody, I don't know if anybody likes going to the dentist. If you ain't going to the dentist, then you're on a whole nother planet. But so I called United Healthcare again, and I'm like, hey, I'm in Maine. I was actually up in Bangor, and I said, I'm in Maine, and I need to go see a dentist. I've got a tooth going bad. I think it's going to be an extraction, and I need to know what my options are. And they said, we'll just send you a list of dentists. If it's an extraction, it's 100% covered. No problem. So I found a dentist that could get me in Augusta, which was only 60 miles from Bangor. So, and I was familiar with Augusta, having been there before Bangor. So I headed down to Augusta, went online, got an appointment. I used Aspen Dental, as a matter of fact. And I got an appointment within 48 hours. Went in, and of course they're not like car salesmen anymore, dentists. They tried to upsell me everything. I'm like, look, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm not from here. I'm not going to hang around here while you do all these different things to me. Just pull the tooth out. They wanted to do a root canal, but I was adamant the tooth needed to come out. And so they verified with United Healthcare, with the insurance attached with United Healthcare, the dental, covered 100%. They pulled the tooth, and it's a good thing I had them pull the tooth, because as it turns out, there was an infection underneath the tooth. So they pulled the tooth out. They had to do a bone graft, because as an older person, it might be a while before I have something made to go in that spot. It could shrink, and that could cause a problem with putting something in later. So they had to do a bone graft, which means they also had to do stitches. And they did all that. Of course, don't eat anything hard. Don't, all the things they're going to tell you not to do. Not gargle hard, but sort of swish salt water. Rest. Don't do anything strenuous, because, whether you realize or not, you go right back out and you go to do something strenuous and you're biting down really hard. So I did that. Well, so it cost me nothing. Nothing. Then I needed to go on amoxicillin, which cost me nothing. However, the amoxicillin did crystallize my urine, which, if you've ever peed glass, which I doubt you have, but let me just say that it was very painful. So I was able to get a script for a really heavy dose of ibuprofen, and that was also free. So having that tooth pulled and having it packed, stitched, having the bone graft, the bone part put in, stitched up, etc., didn't cost anything. I'm very pleased with my experience with my healthcare plan. I don't know how it is for everybody. I do know that people on the base Medicare plan, I believe they have to stay around their state, right? They have to get their care wherever they're from. And I'm pretty sure with Medicaid, it's the same way. You can't get care somewhere else if you're on state Medicaid, because that's for the state of Arizona. So, or the state of California, or whatever state you're from. I mean, I am sure that if you're in an emergency, you're probably going to be able to get maybe some sort of aid or benefit from where you are. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I do know that I've had, those are two pretty extensive visits that I had, actually three, because I had to go to the emergency twice because I didn't have a doctor in Missoula. So I had absolutely no issues. So there's always debate, there's always talk, there's you can't do this, and you can't do that, you can't do the other thing. I've had absolutely no issues with medical on the road, not that I want to go to the doctor often on the road at all and test it any further than that. But I do know that my Medicare Advantage plan has covered me 100% on the road with no issues whatsoever. And actually, I think some of the places I've been, like Montana and here, the medical care is actually cheaper than Arizona. Arizona's very expensive. So I'm sure maybe United Healthcare is kind of good she's not in Arizona. Yay! I don't know. So anyway, I just wanted to do a video on that and clear that up for some people that have questions. I'm sure the other Advantage type plans probably have something similar, but what you'll want to ask for if you're going to travel a lot, I mean, I'm full-time. So, whatever I have has got to be portable. I would be SOL if it wasn't portable. I would be in a lot of trouble. So whatever you want to do, you want to make sure that your insurance is portable. If you're going to be traveling a lot, I do know that United Healthcare also offers overseas coverage, meaning that if you let them know you're going overseas, I don't know if there's an additional charge for that, but if you are going overseas, they will cover you overseas as well. So I thought it was important to do that because I literally have seen arguments break out on Facebook about insurance. And I will venture to guess that maybe in my comments there might be a few that break out here. But I'm talking from my experience and what type of plan I have and what I made sure it had. Actually, I didn't even know it had that. I did tell the lady I was working with that, hey, I'm going to be on the road and traveling, so I need something that's going to help me with that. Because God forbid you don't want to go and get hospitalized and not have insurance coverage. They will break you, or they can break you. I don't know if they would, but they can. Hospital bills, doctor bills. So that's all. I just wanted to talk about that and tell you about my experience, especially the recent one with going to a dentist, which is not the doctor, right? So I had hospital doctor, and now I've had a dental emergency that I had taken care of. Absolutely went fabulous. So I've had no issues at all. Everything 100% coverage. So there you have it. Like, please subscribe. As I said before, I'd like to come out with more substantial type of videos and be helpful and informative. So if there's some things you would like me to talk about, I would love to do that. I've been on the road 3.5 years, so I do have a little bit of knowledge experience. I'm urban dwelling right now. I do a lot of urban dwelling. I mostly boondock, but I will urban dwell. I did spend 5 days in Acadia National Park, but that's not something I do very often. So pay for campgrounds, that is. So thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of this video. And thank you very much.